Coolio, what's going on, y'all? How's everything?
Good, bro. Good, bro. What's going on with you?
Man, trying to make this thing work, man. Trying to keep my neck above the water and move forward, man. What's been going on with you guys? What's new? We got a school starting. I know you all got kids that are graduating and all the things, man. What's been going on?
Oh man, we are at the finish line, man. We got one at the finish line and one approaching the finish line. I got a senior and a junior. So yeah, man, we're working to get that moving, man. So we'll be ready come next May. So yeah, I'm excited, and so are they.
No, it's wonderful. Dub.
Yeah, man. Two graduating seniors this year, high school and college. So I'm super thrilled about that.
Is your wallet super thrilled about it, bro?
Right, yeah, man. Yeah. Financially, we are preparing the others. I'm calling in all favors. Hey, don't you owe me $20 from 97?
Yeah.
I need that.
Hey,
Man,
you owe me $15 from 97. I want it. I need that.
Right. Interest rate, all that. Yeah, inflation is a mug. So
yep, add it up. Add it up. I need all that.
Most certainly, man. We got stuff to talk about, man. We were talking about protection and what protection looks like in the fatherhood way is what we're on today. But I wanted to ask you guys specifically. I saw some things that I want. I like to give you guys things that you're not prepared for. I want to ask if you all seen the interview. If you have seen the interview with the doctor and Cam Newton, did you all see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
I haven't watched it all, but yes, I've seen parts of it.
I know you've seen the important part. Now, I think, if those unfamiliar that are listening that are unfamiliar, Cam Newton was doing some interview with some doctor, the lady doctor, she was a black woman.
Yeah.
And she made some reference to him. He said that he was being loving and that, but the just as this is that the way he lives his life with the multiple, baby mothers and things of that nature is that he is creating broken homes with his lifestyle and he's being selfish, which I don't especially disagree with. I mean, I want you guys to kind of wrap my brain around this one to help me kind of digest this, is that he's got the bag. He can afford to live this way that he is living his life. But is that sufficient? Because she made the point that, hey, listen, you can only be in one place at one time. So when, if dad is needed in two places at one time, and you got all of these homes, then that creates a problem and you're being selfish the way you're living. So I want you guys to give me a couple of minutes on that, because that's a big deal to me.
Well,
go ahead, see. Yeah.
Well, I listened to a little bit of the video, and she was accusing Cam in operating in his lower self.
Aha.
Meaning whatever lower functioning aspect of himself, and that's how he was operating.
Okay.
And I get what she's saying. I understand the aspect of where she was coming from. I get it. But there's a lot of different things that you have to ask here before you say something like that. If Cam is saying, I want to have more kids, and apparently he has 3 different baby mothers. Mm-hmm. Number one of the first things that us as fathers, we want to make sure to have when we're having kids is the resources. Cam's got the resources.
Okay.
Right? Cam's got the resources, right?
Yes.
Sir. Second,
can I interject there? The resources, though, we know that he's financially stable, but
that's what I mean.
Is he pouring into these children? Making sure that everything is good, because that is the resource. I may not have had the financial resources, but I am a resource. You know what I'm saying?
This is true. But even with you having one baby mother and having one child,
you having one baby mama.
Yeah, I do. But even if you had one, everything is centered around the fact of whether or not you have cooperation with said woman or women. If you got cooperation between these 3 mothers, which it seems as though he does, to whereas he has access to his kids at all times, and what would promote or what would prompt the fact that all these women are cooperative in what he wants as far as more kids between the 3 of these women? Maybe it's the money. Could it possibly the fact that they're all getting broken off quite well and they all live quite well? Seems like a happy family to me. Seems like everybody is cool. Now, one of the mothers has spoken out I'm not sure exactly what she said, but she says that she doesn't agree with what Cam is doing or what he's saying, but yet she's a part of it.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? She's a part of it. So there's a lot of different perspectives here, you know. Cooperation is one of the biggest things, man. If I got, you know, we're talking about a polygamous type relationship, right? And that's consensual between said people, or, you know, man and several women. At least I hope I have that right. So it just depends on the cooperation between everybody. If everybody agrees that this is what the life that we're living, then do your thing. But if you're doing it and you're being reckless, and you're not, of course you can't be everywhere at one time. And I might be playing a little bit of devil's advocate here, but I think it really, really depends on the cooperation between everybody.
Earl?
I agree. You do need cooperation. You do need financial backing. According to the doctor, you know, having everybody under one roof, I'm thinking is what she's talking about. So if Cam build a compound or something, would that make everything stable? And with his resources, is he really not there? I mean, it's kind of like you know, he's got a bag. He can get across the country if he needs to and go check some kids if need be. You got FaceTime. We got all these tools to us. So that whole him not being there, I'm not really buying it. Because
And
that's the
he's not
equivalent of us coming from across town.
and
You
he's
know, I'm
not
gonna
a
put some
starting
gas in the whip
quarterback.
and I'm coming up.
He's not a starting quarterback anymore. Like, he has time now. I'm sure he has things that he does, his podcast, amongst several other things. But we all know what a starting quarterback, that time is limited. You know, we all know that. He's not that anymore. So
Okay.
what's
He's
taking
got
up all
other
of his time?
ventures though. I don't think
I'm
his
sure he
pockets
does,
are
but it's
hurting.
nothing compared to being a football player.
Oh no,
Good
absolutely
God.
not.
Hey, Gavel, I think you two, let me hold you guys' feet to the fire. I think you two are getting past the point. What I'm asking here is this, is that what is the value of having the bag, having said bag, versus what you all, you know, what some of us here present have felt that's, you know, in the room next door. And if I'm fucking up, excuse my language, if I'm messing up, if I'm messing up in the other room, he's gonna walk right over to the other room and crack my head. Versus money versus the value of that, or dad tucking you in at night, or being affectionate with you, or giving you some good advice. How do those two things stack up next to each other? And I think you all are getting past the point, and I don't want to let that fly.
It's the age old balancing act. Is it money or is it memories? Because I mean, for the average working man, we can't be there all the time. So it's no different to me.
It's no different.
It's no different. You have
And
to
I don't,
work. Like I can't crack my son's head if I'm working second shift.
I'll get you in the morning.
Seriously. I'm
I
gonna get him
can't,
in the morning. I'm gonna catch him before, you know, when I get home. Like nobody's gonna be there 24/7.
That's
and
correct.
Let's
I
just be real.
and I can't crack my son's head if I'm a non-custodial parent, because I don't get to tuck my son in every night.
And we're going to talk about that as well as, you know, being the protector outside of the home. How does that even work? You know,
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. We're not going to do that right now, but certainly that's coming up later.
right.
So let's start to, you know, get into this just a little bit. Steve, I'm gonna ask you. Let's talk something about like the different types of protection, man. Or what is that? Holler at me.
Well, protection can look a lot of different ways, to a lot of different fathers, depending upon who you are and what it is that you have to work with on a day-to-day basis with your children. But there's a lot of different types of protection, right? So you got physical protection, and the physical protection is pretty much ensuring that your child's safety from a physical harm and providing a safe and secure environment, you know, from day to day. Another type of protection is emotional protection, you know,
Mm.
offering emotional support, nurturing self-esteem, you know,
Get the
creating a
mentals in
sense of,
check.
yeah, got to, you know, creating a sense of stability and love in the environment where your child is. Another one is financial protection, providing financial resources to meet the child's needs, including food, shelter, healthcare, things of that nature, you know, things that we need, you know, every day. And last but not least, social protection, helping the child develop social skills and relationships, protecting them from negative influences or bullies, things of that nature. So uh, there are a bunch of different types of protection. Those are the ones that we're going to kind of nail down today, and we're going to really dive into and talk about.
Okay.
But as we circle back amongst all these different types of protection, let's jump to the bag real quick, man. What
The
are
bag.
some of the ways that you can protect the bag and kind of teach your kids while doing so? Or what are some of the ways that you can go about doing that, bro?
I think first and foremost, we got to educate. We have to educate our kids. They need to see money. They need to know what it is. One of the things that I was big on was as soon as my kids were of age, I got them bank accounts, high school bank accounts. Let's show them what this looks like. You know, money transfers back and forth. You need to see what things cost. I really was an advocate for this because I wanted them to see how money was being, moved in and out of their accounts. And I also wanted to see what money was moving in and out of their accounts.
Right.
So it taught them some financial responsibilities, a little independence, stuff like that. Encouraging them to make wise decisions, financial decisions, as they become independent, older. You don't want them, as soon as they get their check, they blow it, because that's what kids do. They want to, blow that bag. So
Floss.
yes, I got to show everything. We spoke to a young man this weekend. He had been working for a while and he didn't have a bank account. I was like, this is insane to me.
Ooh,
Get
yes,
you a
yes,
bank
yes.
account.
Yes,
You're
sir.
saving for a car. Get you a bank account. How you saving? You putting the money in the shoebox? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, right.
We need to educate ourselves. Another big thing that I was big on was credit. A lot of people in the Black community, we slaughter our kids' social security number. As soon as they born, they got cable, cars, whatever, you know what I'm saying, in their name. Let's do something different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all know this, but you can put your child on a credit card at a very young age. And from the time you put them on that credit card, it starts to build their credit.
Right.
Okay. That's a good gem. That's a real good gem, man. That's something. Forgive me for interjecting, but I feel like that's a failure in our community, and most certainly in my own upbringing. I feel like my parents could have warned me a little better about credit and about what, because I was like a lot of people.
Educating us. Yeah, we didn't even know. Yeah.
I went out there, ask Columbia House, baby. Ask Columbia House how I get down. Ask BMG how I get down. You feel me? So.
Hey, how many of us in our generation, man, have had our grandparents or parents use us and put our name in a bill or something like that, or in a credit card bill?
Yeah.
And before we get to the point where we're 18, 19 years old, our credit is tanked, man. Like, our community has abused that type of stuff for a long time, man. And I don't think they did it in a malicious type of way.
No, not out of malice. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
A lot of them just didn't know. They didn't know about credit. I feel like if you talk to a lot of older people, they still afraid of credit.
Yeah.
So we need to educate everybody across the board about the goods and the bads of credit.
Right.
There's good debt, there's bad debt. Let's figure out where we lie. So
there's a big reason why our community is lacking or in the back of the bus when it comes to home ownership and things of that nature, because it seems like it's a mountain to climb to get the proper credit needed to purchase those things, to have and own those things, man. We always are trying to look for back doors and shortcuts, man, and it just doesn't work that way.
No doubt.
No. Earl, real quick before we move on, question for you, especially because you got older kids and you got kids in college and things of that nature. What do you tell them about getting credit cards at this early 19, 20, 21 age? Do you tell, because I'm sure on these college campuses, man, they setting up tables like, hey, come on, come sign on up. You need that. Do you warn them about that, or do you tell them to get it and then we'll do it together to where you can learn how to utilize the credit properly? What do you feel about that?
The company that I bank with, they have a pretty good credit card program.
Okay.
And both of my older kids, they have credit in their name. Well, like I said, I signed them up for the credit. I put them on a credit card that I had that they didn't know about. So when they got out of high school, they had A1 credit.
Dope.
I told them not to mess this up.
Man,
you
good
know,
for you. Hey,
they choose their own path, but banks have certain ways that they, finance things like that. And because they had good credit, they got good credit rates. Right. So my son, when he bought his first car, he had a good credit rate. I don't know where his credit is now. I can imagine, but he had a good start out. I started him out really good.
Hey, bravo to Earl, man. Give
That's
Earl
what's
love on that. That's a good move. Good for you.
I
Yes,
dig it.
yes,
Okay.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, yes.
Dig it.
Even the banker, when we went and changed over their names, he kind of looked at me and shook my hand, as you know, and he
Good,
told both my kids, "Your dad
good,
did you a hell of a favor." So,
hey, good looking out, baby. Absolutely.
but you're
Mhm.
just educating them, because when I got my first credit card, it was an LSL's card, and you couldn't tell me I was fresh to death for the Captain Party that week. Tommy head to toe, got a little chain, got me an old little, yeah, I mean, watch. You know what I'm saying? Some earrings. I blew the whole thing,
Of course you did.
and yeah, it just wasn't good. So teaching them from my mistakes is kind of what I, did with that credit situation.
Breaking generational curses, as it were.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Or trying to at least educate them. Like, hey, look, if you do this, you're gonna owe this, and it don't go away. So,
I'll tell
Hey,
you.
stick to your ribs like grits, baby. Yes.
man, yeah, stay on your head, boy. And not
Absolutely.
only that, another thing about that is school debt, college debt. You know,
Don't get me started. Don't get me
yeah,
started.
man. Don't bite off more than you chew. I tried to educate them before they got to college. Hey, are you sure you want to do this? Because this is a financial
Ooh,
responsibility.
ooh.
Some of them was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." Jumped off in the diving board into the 12 foot, and they start treading water. Some of them they be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go responsibly, and I'm gonna pick this up, and I'm gonna get scholarships and stuff like that." But
Okay.
you can lead a horse to water, but you
But
can't
you
make him
can't
drink
make
it.
them drink. You can't make them
Hey
drink
man.
it.
This is a whole topic. This is a whole show topic right here, bro. And I want to pick your mind one day about something that you taught me about who pays for college, man, and who picks that bill up, man. We gonna have a whole conversation about that one, man, because you made me look at it from a whole different perspective, and I wholeheartedly agree, man. But we definitely gonna have to have that conversation, bro. that that
No
makes
doubt,
that
no
made a
doubt.
whole lot of sense when I listened to what you said. Like, you know what? That makes all the sense in the world, bro. So, yeah, yeah. So, yep.
All right. So before we continue with the show, we want to pause for the calls. Shout out a few Black businesses that we hold near and dear to our hearts. We would like to welcome you all to the BBC.
Black Business
Oh,
Corner.
there you go. Where we shine a spotlight on incredible Black entrepreneurs and business owners who are making waves in their community. So the first one that I want to shout out is A Taste of Royalty. This young lady is doing wonderful things in the city of Indianapolis. She's the first one to roll out the egg roll. Um, she got a bunch of different varieties. I done tasted them all. Fire.
So have I. Fire,
Yes,
fire.
she's doing her thing. So check her out on Facebook, Instagram. I'm not sure if she's on TikTok, but she does lovely work. She also does catering and bartending.
Mhm.
So holla at her.
Jack
Again,
all
that
trades.
is A Taste of Royal Tea.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What you got for him, T?
The black business I got to holler out is my black business. Actual
sure.
Air Solutions. Actual Air Solutions, man. We do a little bit of everything, man. We out here in the community. We are cleaning dry vents. We are cleaning air ducts. We are doing windows for small business storefronts. We are doing windows for personal homes as well. We are doing cleaning for small businesses and things of that nature. So please hit us up. Actual Air Solutions.It us up. Well, we're on Facebook. You can hit us up on Facebook, leave a message, or you can hit us up on our email, actualairsolutions21@gmail.com. Actualairsolutions21@gmail.com. Hit us up. Actual Air Solutions. We care about your air.
All right, now we're back again. The thing that I'm going to move to now is protecting the castle, is the home unit. Where you rest your head, where you lay your head and everything, where you keep your kids and where you keep your woman and you keep all of your stuff.
Mhm.
There's a culture in this country with doing that sort of protection. I'll
Mhm.
just full transparency. My wife is not an advocate for guns at all. She doesn't like guns at all. So I don't. I'm not really one for guns either. I guess. Um, my best weapon is basically being prepared, having a plan for when things go from good to worse, and I just, let me lay this at you guys' feet is that, how do you, number one, let's talk about guns. Guns are a big deal in the country right now because of all the things that we're seeing with the kids, showing up to school with guns. And, I just, we're in a very, just kind of, there's a lot of upheaval as it pertains to guns right now. And I just wanted to get you guys' take on, protection and the risks that come along with having that sort of protection in the home. So anybody want to kind of chew on that for me?
Yeah.
I
Pause.
Go ahead,
nice.
Doug.
I am a gun owner. My wife is a gun owner. We had license before in the state of Indiana. You no longer have to have a license to carry. It's open carry. I do have a soft spot because like the kid, this most recent one in Georgia, the dad bought the AR for the kid. I'm like, come on, man, you gotta be smarter, wiser than to give a 14, 15-year-old AR. Like, he doesn't need it. For what? I think that we need to encourage safe storage for firearms. It's a lot of kids. I think last week it was 2 kids, 3 and 5, that shot themselves with guns that were unlocked, unprotected.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how I feel about locking up guns, but they definitely should be out of the way of kids. Like top shelf, keep the ammo and the gun separate. But
Right, but
if an intruder's coming in the house, I
yeah,
don't have time to
That
remember the
defeats
those
the
combination.
things
point.
Where
are
did I put the key?
counterproductive, of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah,
defeats the purpose.
it defeats the purpose. And I'm gonna shout out De La. Gun control is using both hands in my land. So that's where I stand.
Gun control is using both hands. Stakes is high. Hey, stakes is high reference. Get
I
it.
knew you would
No,
get it. Yes, sir.
yes, I absolutely would. C, what are you looking at, man?
Man, I'm a gun owner myself.
Mhm.
I keep my guns locked away, but I keep one very close to the bedside. Um, I used to not be as comfortable around guns, but that kind of dissipated once I learned how to use it. I
Okay.
became a little less uncomfortable around it. I want to make sure to have my kids comfortable as well and get them in a place to where it's um, they know. I tell them all the time when they go, because you just never know what happens with your kids once they leave outside your home. You
Yeah.
run into someone that's carrying a gun or dealing with a gun, leave, get out of there, because usually most kids aren't having them for a reason that you know, some kids, man, they live out in the wilderness, in the woods, or in places where they hunt and they
Mm-hmm.
utilize guns on their property from day to day. And
Mm-hmm.
usually where we are, that's not the case. If a kid has
In
a gun,
urban. Yeah.
it's on the other side of the tracks or some other type of reason why he or she has a gun. So I try my best to educate my kids on what gun safety is and to exercise that at all times. I don't hide from the fact that I let them know that I have weapons in the home as well.
Right.
Um, this is just a different day, and we have to act like it's a different day. My father showed me where the guns were, and he dared me, "Hey, you go near it if you want to."
That's
Like
smart.
a lot like the liquor cabinet and everything else that
Yep.
was off balance to me. Like it wasn't really no. I gotta lock that up. It's like go near it if you want to, bro. Like
I'm gonna show you what it do.
we gonna we gonna have a problem, man. So I know this is a different day. We have to operate in different times. But I do believe in protecting our home, man, because it could be a situation, man. You never know. With COVID, man, a lot of things happen that we just didn't even see coming, man. I want to protect my home from whatever might occur. So you just never know.
Here's another thing I wanted to bring to this discussion is, and this goes directly to C, but Earl, you feel free to add what you add. Do we start our discussion with guns with the kids? Do we start our discussion at respect for life? Because I imagine, if it comes to times when I need to tell, my son about guns and about using a gun and having to use a gun, being put in a situation where you have to use a gun, I want to start with these things are dangerous and they could kill you very easily.
Absolutely, man. I think that's exactly where you have to start because I think the generation nowadays is so desensitized
Mm-hmm.
from loss
Mm-hmm.
of life due
Oh yeah.
to the things that they see on a day-to-day basis just on
Yes, sir.
social
Person
media.
shooter games.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
sir.
know, yeah.
They think
And
that they can just
Earl video
spawn up.
games.
Yes.
Yeah, like no,
One mushroom and you good.
Yeah. Yeah.
nah, that's dead for
Earl
real.
spoke on the shooting that happened last week in Georgia, and that wasn't really heavily covered in the media at all. That was
Yeah,
like,
I didn't even
oh
hear
yeah,
about that one.
that's just another one. Like, oh, it's okay. And
Yeah,
it's really, man, it's really sad because I hear things like that, man. And it really takes a piece. It takes something out of me, man. It's really discouraging.
Yeah.
But you tell a kid that, they're like, oh yeah, I heard about that. Like, it's not a really big deal. Like, things happen every day that it just seems like, okay, I'm so desensitized. I hear about things like that all the time. So it's pertinent that we talk to our kids about what life is and how precious it is. And once you pull that trigger, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
So that's important to do. That's
so I
important.
had a different take. When my wife first got her gun, she
Mm.
wasn't used to carrying stuff like that, and I had to explain to her, like, you don't have to kill somebody when you pull this thing. You definitely have to shoot it. If it's visible, you need to make it be heard.
Yeah.
Shoot them in the leg. You don't have to kill nobody, because my wife, she's not built like that. But if
Yeah.
if it comes down to protecting, herself or our children, I believe she will pull the trigger. But I just didn't want her to hesitate. Like, if I pull this trigger, I'm gonna end them. Shoot them in the leg. Shoot them below the waist, just to get them up off of you. That's
Hey,
kind of
listen, fight me on this, Earl. I gotta tell my wife, like, if she's in a situation where I feel like, where she feels like she needs to use a gun, I'm not telling her to shoot nobody in the legs.
well, no. But knowing my wife, she is, she has the kindest heart. So I wouldn't want her to carry that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But
sure.
I just don't want her to think about it like, I got to blow this man's head off. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If it comes to that thought, just shoot him in the leg.
Well, a question for both of you, man. And well, Herm, you already gave us your aspect of what you think about this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now that we got so much stuff going on, do you carry your weapon with you in your car, man? There's so much going on with road rage and different things of that nature, man. And there's so many times, it's been times, I ain't gonna lie, it's been times that I wish that I had my weapon in my car. And it's times that I'm glad that I didn't have my weapon in my car. I get upset, I get mad. And like some actual dangerous stuff happening. I got the kids in the car. Which one is it, man? What do you do? Which way do you lean, Earl?
I carry it at all costs. We went to Canada for Labor Day, and I took my gun out of the car, and I drove around all last week without it, just because I'm used to having it. I wasn't looking for it, but when I was looking for it, I'm like, oh snap, I got to get that back in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would much rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Any day.
Yeah. Yeah. I was law enforcement for some years, and we had to carry it on off duty all the time. Like, it wasn't really a choice in the matter, and I got used to having it, so I know how that feels. I don't carry it all the time now. A lot of times I do, sometimes I don't, but I don't feel naked without it. I don't feel like, oh man, I ain't got that. Like, I don't feel like that, or I haven't to this point. Hopefully I never have to feel that way, but I don't feel
Hey,
like
look, I got a situation. I went to a funeral in Gary. It's
Mm.
all emotional. Stopped in this gas station on 25th and Grant.
that. Right. I know the
Buddy
one.
walks in
I know
with
the
an
one.
AR, like, strapped, like he not hiding it. It's across him. I'm like, and never in my life have I felt so naked. When I saw him, I mean, my eyes got big. I'm like, damn, my pistol's in the car. I
Yeah.
forgot
Yeah.
where I was for a half a second.
Yeah.
Not to say that he was in there robbing, but these
Right.
kids walking around with these pool shiesties, they got pistols,
Yeah.
they got big guns.
Yeah, they
All
do.
I had was a pistol on me, and it was in the car. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Not to mention, I don't want to take up too much time, but we getting older, y'all.
Yeah.
We are targets. They see the gray, they think, oh, I got a
Yeah.
lick. He's a
Easy
walking
got.
lick.
Yeah,
Look at him.
he can be got.
Nah, son. I
Hey.
want y'all to know.
Hey, with it or without it, ain't gonna be no easy go. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm
That
trying to
part.
tell you now.
However, but if you got your kids with you, you're not trying to tussle with none of these.
No.
Can you fight an 18, 19-year-old? Like, really?
How many?
How much wind do you have, sir?
I don't
How
want
much
to test
wind
it.
do you
I don't
have?
want to test it, but you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man. You
Up
don't
here,
want to end up on
hey,
YouTube, because I'm gonna show you the video. Like, look, that's where he knocked the
I
fuck
don't
out.
say it. I got a number in my head,
Yeah,
but I'm not
we ain't gonna
sure.
let
I
that
don't know.
rest. See, we love
Hey,
you. Hey, if we was there, we'd
Yeah,
swing with you,
I'm
but
here
we
to
ain't gonna
tell
let it
you.
rest.
It's all good. I understand. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. I
But
wouldn't
no,
either.
to get back to the subject, we're acting a fool over here. But Stephen, this speaks specifically to you.
Right.
Protection from outside of the home.
Man.
You're a co-parent, and I'm thinking, you're on your post, I imagine, as much as you can be. But how does that look when the funk goes down and you're outside the house and you have funk and in a situation where you have somebody that you're co-parenting with? How does that look?
It can be frustrating because you need to have cooperative parties involved. When I say cooperative parties, I don't mean just the mom, I mean the kids as well.
Okay.
Because I have an app called Life 360 for both of my kids. So as far as wherever they take their phone, which is everywhere, I can see where they are. I can see what's going on. I can see what's happening. So of course, when they're with me, I always know where they are. But when they're with mom or they're going other places or doing other things, because I got an 18 and a 16-year-old. So, you can imagine they're all over
The
the place.
foolishness.
Yeah, they're
Absolutely.
all over the place. So I've gotten some flack from one of my kids. I won't name which one. It was both of them, actually. I'm not gonna go there. It was both of them to a certain extent, like, Dad, and they don't understand the aspect of whether or not
Yes.
what I'm doing. They think Dad is just being nosy.
This is chess, baby. It's chess.
Yeah, man. And when we talk about, and you hear this conversation going on and on and on about what does it look like as far as protection is concerned, as far as dad is concerned, it looks like cooperation is what it looks like. Because if you're not able to cooperate with me, what I'm saying, and at least, okay, here, Dad, here's my location, here's my whereabouts, it makes it more difficult for me to protect you. Because if there's a spur of the moment issue or a situation that pops off, like, you may not have time to call me, you may not have time to text me, but if mom calls me and like, hey, I can't find such and such, have you talked to her, where she at? Hey, I got the location right here, I'm on my way. I know exactly where they are. Other than that, I'm not, every minute of the day where they at, what's going on. But, I pretty much know what the schedule is. But you never know. Anything can go on, man. When you are living in a world where young ladies are getting kidnapped at a clip at which they are nowadays, man,
shout out Cleveland, man.
it's a must. It's a must, bro. It is a must. So to me, protection looks like cooperation from outside of the home. It has to be. There's no other way to it.
It's cooperative effort. You got anything to add to that, Earl?
Yeah, that whole protective thing about knowing their whereabouts, my wife and I struggle with that on her level, because I was like, hey, I can't, if you at Walmart, I don't know. What if that Walmart's getting robbed? I need to be on the scene or whatever. So early in our relationship, we kind of went back and forth about that. I think she thought I was just trying to control her, but it was that layer of protection. I need to know where you are so that I can have a sense of urgency about getting to you or whatever.
Right, no doubt.
The other part of that is I like to educate my kids, not educate, but I've always wanted to teach my kids some type of like defense, boxing, taekwondo, something. They need to be able to protect themselves, especially our young girls. My daughter who's in college now, her mom and dad on the other side saw fit for her to take some boxing classes. I couldn't be more in line with it. I said, absolutely. So they got to learn how to defend themselves, or at least have that presence of mind that, hey, something's not going right or something's off here.
Awareness,
Let me lead.
of course.
Yeah, I don't want y'all sticking around to see who won the fight or I need you to get home. Priority number one is getting safe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of my kids, they didn't grow up in the streets like we know that we kind of, hey, something ain't right. They beefing over there, so I ain't gonna go hoop over there today. I'm gonna go on the other side of town. My kids are just kind of, God bless them. That's the environment that we raised them in. Yeah. So they're product of their environment.
Yeah. Earl and I was talking about to the kids that we mentored last week. We were asking them, if you go to a party or to some kind of outing where it's a bunch of kids, when do you know that it's time to go? Do you got that spidey sense where like it's time to go? Like, and they were just like, like, man, you got to know when it's time to go, man. When a fight breaks out, like, hey, let's go. Like, oh no, it's cool now. Like, no, it's not.
Ain't nobody taking no L's. You're not gonna leave nobody leaving. No. They gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's we need to write this down and get this out in the air. It's just I don't even know how to quantify it or to express it in words. It's just when you start to see things from here, somebody raising their voice over here. You see, you see somebody and they into some foolishness and then they moving this way. It's like, you know what?
Hey,
Yeah,
my bedtime.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
It's time to go. It's time
It's
to
time
go,
to go.
man.
It's time to get
It's
up out of
time to
here.
go.
You don't
Yeah.
want to be around to hear the gunshots, okay?
Nah, nah,
No,
nah, nah.
not even a little bit.
And
Nah.
not Herman, Earl, man, you are exactly right about some kind of class, some kind of boxing,
Yeah.
karate, some type of, especially to me for young men. Like, look, man, you are always, no matter who you are next to, it can be your buddy, it can be somebody that you know, somebody that you just met. You are always being sized up, bro. Like it is
Oh yeah.
your job to stay sharp, man. You can't be around here getting comfortable, pudgy, lazy, man. It just don't. Take some kind of class, man, to keep the edge on as a young man, so you can keep that as an older man, man. You got to have it. You are always being sized up. I promise you are, because I'm one of the ones sizing you up when I see you.
Especially when
Like,
you're the biggest person in the crew. Like they always
man.
always looking at me. I'm like, man, what I do? Just because I was born big? Like,
Nah, man. Nah, it ain't. It don't pay not to think everybody's your buddy and think, oh, nobody wants to hurt me. Yeah, they do.
no, yeah, they do.
Nah.
Everybody don't
Hey,
mean you well.
hey, I tell you, man, it ain't sweet. Every situation ain't sweet, man. You
Nope.
know?
Nope.
Mm.
Nope. Not at all, man. Not at all, man. So, yep.
I want to pose this to you before we move on. How do you deal with threats like inside the house? Since we talked about outside, what about threats inside the house?
Is that to me or to C? You didn't say
See,
a name.
I just threw it out there.
Man.
When you talk about inside the home, are you talking about inside the home with the family, or are you talking about inside the home just period? You mean as far as family is concerned? Okay. Okay. What you think,
Your
huh?
take on it.
I have had situations in my family where we've had I'll call them threats from internal threats that people that have problems with you know s- spatial problems where they can't keep their hands to themselves and things of that nature. And I won't get into detail, but you got to be aware of those from family members, man. You got to number one, you got to be realistic about the family chatterings and things of that nature. Is like these things didn't just come out of nowhere most of the time, man. So
No.
um
Mm.
I try to not ever leave the kids in a situation that I might regret the next day. It's like, hey, if said person said threats in the area, I'm gonna be right there with them the whole
Johnny
time,
on the
the
spot.
entire time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna,
Yeah.
hey, there ain't gonna be no. And this is another thing we're gonna talk about, I'm sure, briefly, is sleepovers, things of that nature. There's stuff that we used to do this as kids, but now this day and this age, no sleepovers.
Man, I didn't do
You
no
know,
sleepovers, bro. My dad wasn't having no sleepovers.
really?
And
Well,
it,
okay. Well,
and
we
he,
got to sleep over.
yeah, even if it was cousins or things of that nature, he did not like us to be away from the crib, bro. Like, you got your own bed back there. Sleep over where? For what? Like, and maybe it was something that he dealt with at one point in time, or that happened
Sure,
in the
sure,
family that he
sure,
just didn't share with
sure.
me. But you can tell it was a trigger of his. If you murmured like spend the night, like what? Who? Go where? No. Better take your ass back there and go lay down somewhere. Ain't nobody going nowhere. House was off the chain, man. He wasn't playing no games about spending the night nowhere.
Shout out
He
Mr.
did
That's
not.
Worthy.
what
Shout out Mr.
protection
Worthy,
looks
man.
like. That's what
Yeah,
protection looks like.
He
Yep.
did
yeah.
not. He did not play no games, man. He didn't. And
Earl?
furthermore, as far as protection within the family is concerned, man, like I think we've all had this too. Wasn't it just that particular cousin or uncle that you couldn't go to the mall with because he ended up stealing something or putting something in his pocket and you just happened to be with him? Like, here come the police falling down on you. Man, what happened? I mean, I don't know what happened, man. He pulling a bottle of cologne out of his pocket or something. Like, what the hell? Like, man. So you learn that quick, man. There's certain cats that you can't fool with like that, man. Or cats that's
Right.
out here in the street that you don't know what he into and getting
Yes.
in the car with
Yes.
him. Thing you have to be aware of what whoever you're dealing with, what they own, family or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's definitely
Oh.
what protection inside the home looks like.
I
Yeah.
got a
Earl,
quick story.
your upbringing is what it is. It's well documented. We know what it is, man. Were you allowed sleepovers and things of that nature?
I was, but it was my mom had to know who was what, was going on. It
Who, what,
wasn't like
when, where,
me.
why? Yeah.
Yeah. Buddy from school, nah, it's a no-go.
Mm.
Such and such around the corner, nah. But the close friends where my mom knew the parents and knew,
Yeah.
everything was in accordance, it wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
I did a lot of sleepovers, but it was with
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, with a few amount of people. It was,
Yeah.
cousins and stuff like that. It wasn't a
There
whole
were
lot.
people. I mean, Steve is the extreme case, I think.
'Cause I had an extreme dad. Damn it.
Mr. Worthy was too
But
mean for your joy.
Oh man, he
that
stole it
part,
every chance he got. Like, no.
I didn't have a dad in the house though. So my mom was just kind of, she may not have saw it that way. So shout out to Mr. Worthy, like you said.
Pops was
Yeah, no
off the
doubt,
chain.
man.
Even mom would kind of be like, you can spend the night, because it'd be somebody like, once I started getting a little bit older and I had friends that was just around for years, as you guys know, of course, like then it started being a little bit more lenient as far as what was going on. Because it wasn't so much a sleepover. It was, hey, I fell asleep over Birdhouse. Like, oh yeah, okay, cool. It wasn't a big deal as we got older, but as we were younger, it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, that's cool, yo.
So real quick, fellas, let's talk about some historical or cultural examples of protectors that you guys, think about, in the movies, film, what have you.
See, you first.
I guess, we go way back, man, Lion King, we can go way back to where it's, he was teaching his son all the things that he needs to know to be the king one day.
Shout out Mufasa.
Yeah, man, and to watch out what kind of dangers was out there and what he needed to look for and what he needed to protect the kingdom, the information that he needed and things of that nature.
Can we pause and shout out James Earl Jones, R.I.P.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Mufasa.
Darth Vader. I am your
He
father.
was a dad. Yeah, he was a dad. I am your father.
Yes.
Yes,
Hey, shout out. Hey, rest in peace to that brother, man. He's one of the best to ever do it. Real talk.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A veteran actor of the stage and of the silver screen. Well, he's one of our best, man. Absolutely.
That movie.
He's a father from Coming to America too. Don't trip on that.
Yeah, that too.
I like that
too.
Akeem.
And you said it,
Babar.
even though you said it accidentally, man. James Evans, man, you know what I'm saying? He was the father. He was one of the
James
first
Evans from Good Times
in the household.
Hard nose. Yeah, he didn't play no games.
Ain't no games. That's Mr. Worthy right there. It's James Evans.
Yeah. All he needed was the ball spot, and that was him all day long. Come in the house, smacking fire. Like, what's going on?
Hey, listen, I could put Mr. Worthy and Cabrini Green. That would work, man. I don't get
it. Would. Absolutely.
And we would be the only kids on the block in Cabrini Green, man, with straight leg pants, man, and these tight shirts. You're not sagging your pants. You're not wearing a hat. You're not going out the house like that. Damn.
Structure. It was needed. Man.
Always.
Look at how you turned out, bro. Look at
this brother was on his post is what we need to get. Mr. Worthy was doing his job at his post, man. He took it seriously, and I can't do nothing but respect that.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Looking back at it, it's easy to appreciate now, but back then, it's like, man, this dude ain't got no play to him, man. He's tripping every day. But I appreciate it. I love him for it.
Hey, one of the protectors I want to shout out is Mr. Miyagi. That wasn't even his son. But as soon as he saw him, Daniel's son. Let's go. Let me show you how to get down.
I can
dig the protection that we was talking about. Karate Kid, man.
I can dig it.
Pat Morita, man. Who came up under Red Fox, if y'all did. That's just a tidbit for you. That doesn't mean anything, but he got his start under Red Fox.
Yeah, he was, man. He was
I didn't hear that.
He had a restaurant, man. I forgot his name on the show, but he was on there, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was him.
I'm gonna have to go watch some old Sanford and Son.
Yeah, yes. Man, check him out.
And Happy Days as well. Don't forget about that.
I remember him from Happy Days.
Yeah.
Happy Days.
Another father, man, in accordance with James Earl Jones, because I believe he did the play on Broadway, and then Denzel did it on the big screen.
Fences. August Wilson.
That is a dope movie.
That is a dope movie, man. It encapsulates everything that hard-working father does and how he put it down and trying to explain to his son, I love you. Like, man, this is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do.
like you. like, who the hell said I gotta like you? Hey, you know what? We laughing, but this is a black. Hey, ain't nobody gotta like you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna like you. This is my job, bro. I don't think the kid knew what to say after that. He's like, you don't
I
like
don't
me? Is that what
know.
you're
Okay.
saying?
Gotta like you. Hey, and that's another one. James Earl Jones, man. Did it on stage.
Yeah, did it on
He
stage,
was
man.
early or easy.
Yep.
That's funny. But no,
Yeah.
most certainly, man. I don't remember where I was even going. Where was I going? We're talking about fictional. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. Fictional fathers, man.
Okay,
Uncle
yeah,
So
there we
let's
Phil, of
go.
talk
course.
about like Scar.
Scar
He came,
is
yeah,
one of the
the
original haters,
uncle.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Haters, just
uncle.
hater.
Yeah.
yeah. Hater.
Yeah, right. Talk
Yeah.
about
Uncle Scar. He was not out there
inside the
for,
home, sending your
yeah, he
kids
was
to
inside the
their
home.
death and everything. So you gotta watch out for the haters, man, because they're not just out there, man. Haters ain't always just out there. You feel me?
No,
Nah,
they in your inner circle for sure.
Yeah, right
nah.
next to you.
You guys
Hey,
ain't never had that uncle or that part of the family that your dad like, nah, you ain't gonna know it with him. You're like,
oh,
like,
absolutely,
yeah, man.
absolutely.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
And you didn't know
Hey,
what
but
be
was
it's
like,
going
funny.
on.
Those uncles and aunties and cousins, they can keep you out of a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
I got a story. My cousin, I begged her to take me to the mall with her and her friends. We got out to the mall, it was a little shorty, and she found out that her friends was out there on some thievery. We had to go stand outside the mall because she was like, "Ain't no way I can explain to your mama how I got arrested with her son." And I was like, "Huh." I never thought about it like that. Like she was like, "No, we're gonna stand outside until they get done, and then we're gonna proceed."
Yeah, yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Cuzzo, because yeah, she kept me out of that. Because I can only imagine what my mom would have done had I went down like that. So,
The wrath.
oh my
I can
yes,
goodness, yeah. If you
imagine
know
the
my
wrath.
mother, you know my mother. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's been ugly.
Yeah.
Um, we've talked about protection. We talked about what the model is for protection or protection from all of these different vantage points. We've talked about fictional characters, and I want to know how are we going to put a bow on this? What's the thing? What's the theme? What's the umbrella that this all sits underneath?
so protection, as far as I'm concerned, as a family man, it encompasses a range of responsibilities and actions that
Mm-hmm.
go much further than mere physical safety. It involves ensuring that well-being, providing.
Yes.
You got to get all their needs and be there to support them. I think that we always need to be that moral compass. You know what I'm saying? If they see better, they do better. In my
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Shine
Yeah, man.
example.
That's dope, man. I did that, man. For me, man, protection is a lot of different things, man. We talked about a different types of protection at the very beginning of the show. And just to add a few things, man, protection is also making sure socially that your kids are cool, man. Monitoring digital activity, man, phones,
Yes.
TVs, and different
Yes.
devices and things of that nature. It can mean creating healthy routines, meal and bedtime, man. The kids really they get down on that, man, when they know that you got these times in place, man, that they can kind of lean on. They like structure, they dig structure. Having consistency with your rules and your discipline. All those are additives to what creating a safe environment is and being a protective environment. But overall, man, I want to double down on it. Protection has a lot to do with cooperation. Cooperation within the family structure allows me to be the protective that I need to be and be there for you whenever I need to be there for you. So let's cooperate as a family so everybody can be safe and move along in this society, in this world, in a better way.
Well, if I'm hearing you guys correctly, you're basically saying to me what I'm hearing again is a father encompasses protection, mind, body, and spirit on all of those levels. It's our job to let them know where all the icebergs are, to give them the proper perspective, to give them the things to think about, to make them, viable citizens moving forward. Man, it's an important job. And one of our close friends told me at the time when I had my first baby, he said, being a father is a thankless job. And maybe.
Little
Maybe.
bit.
So, hey, listen, I explain this to my wife and she doesn't get it, but I say, hey, listen, this job that I have now as a father, it is an honor to do it. I am a guy, I am at my post, I'm watching the whole game from up high. and I'm trying to remove all the obstacles and protect the unit at all costs. So that's what being a father is to me. One thing that we didn't get to talk about that maybe we could do offline or something like that. There's some movie coming out with Tyrese in it, like it's called like 1992.
Yeah.
Where it's like based on the 1992 riots and so that's something we might want to look into some way. Maybe that'll be some extra content down the road. But again, I'm a man. I'm doing my job. It's an honor to do this job. This is the most honorable, best job I've ever had. I don't know how else to put it beyond that.
Hey, man, well, you saying it is a thankless job, man. It doesn't have to be, man. I thank you for being on your post. I thank Brother Earl for being on his post. And I thank all the rest of the fathers out there, man, to do their thing and being on their post, man. It's not a thankless job. I'm here to thank you, bro.
Perfect. Hey, that's perfect. Listen, sometimes you just can't do no better than that. Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, this has been the latest edition of Firm Fatherhood, talking about protection. Protect the family at all costs is what they say. I'm Herman Trask.
I'm Sebring Worthy.
And I'm Earl Wallace on my post like Malcolm X.
He's at the window with his movie.
Yes.
Hey, you guys again next time.
For sure.
Peace and love, y'all.
Season 2. Holler at us, man.
Yes.